All right, everyone, welcome to the Pierce the Canvas podcast. This is Pierce. Today is August 19th, 2020. And this week we're doing something a little bit different. Normally I would just be covering AEW on Wednesday nights. Obviously, this week's a little different because we ain't got no AEW this Wednesday night. They got booted off their time slot for this week, I believe next week. I heard there is a third week as well that they're not going to be in their normal time slot. But anyway, for this week, AEW is on Saturday, so I like keeping the podcast on Wednesdays, so I thought, let's cover some wrestling. Let's cover NXT. After all, it is also their go home show for their pay per view this Saturday, NXT TakeOver 30. Pretty big show, so I thought, why not? NXT is a good show. It's not like crappy wrestling like we get on Mondays and Fridays, so it's worth covering if there's no AEW. So tonight we had a pretty great show. We had two contender matches for the North American Championship for Saturday's ladder match, which so far has Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes, and Bronson Reed. So the two contendership matches we had was Johnny Gargano versus Ridge Holland and Finn Balor versus Velveteen Dream. Both were pretty good matches, All in all, the wrestling tonight was okay. We had a face-to-face confrontation between Adam Cole and Pat McAfee. That was a magical segment. Just McAfee's great on the mic, man. So we're gonna get to that. To start off the show, so we had two ladders set up right by the ring. I guess to just keep in mind that we have the ladder match coming up this Saturday. They had two ladders set by the ring with the North American Championship in between. So we got to see that the whole show to really hype up that match coming up this Saturday. And we started off with one of the contender matches. We had Johnny Gargano versus Ridge Holland. Decent match. We had, Ridge Holland is a big, muscly dude. It's always cool getting to see the big dude just throw around the little guy. Not to just call Johnny Gargano a little guy, but in this match, like, he really was a smaller man. So it was just fun, like, seeing him throw around Gargano. Gargano, of course, because the guy's so big, he was really just kind of stuck with technical offense. He couldn't just throw around Ridge Holland. At one point, we went to commercial break. It was picture in picture. I was kind of just taking notes and stuff. When it's on picture in picture, I kind of just treat it like it's on commercial break. I don't watch as closely. So I missed a big spot. When we came back from picture in picture, I just hear the announcers going like, "Whoa! Oh my God! I hope he's okay," or whatever. And we see Gargano like laying down, grabbing his neck, and they show a replay, and Ridge Holland landed like this crazy scoop slam and landed Gargano right on his head, like pressed him right on his head. I was real worried there for a second. Like, I've seen Gargano go through bare, bumps throughout the years, so I wasn't too surprised to see that he was okay. It was concerning though. He was fine though. He really teased the injury, and then he connected a really cool super kick, to Holland, and the match continued. Afterwards, we had near the end of the match we had Candice LeRae grab Holland's leg to give Gargano the advantage, and then Gargano connected his slingshot DDT for the win. So all in all, it was an okay match. So obviously now we have Johnny Gargano moving forward for the NXT North American Championship match. So as of right now, then after that we have Gargano versus Bronson Reed versus Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes versus Velveteen Dream or Finn Balor, which again we're gonna find out later tonight who's moving forward there. And it's also cool to mention this is gonna be Johnny Gargano's 18th takeover pay-per-view. So it would have kind of sucked if Ridge Holland, had won and we had Takeover without Johnny Takeover, right? So that just wouldn't be right. So afterwards, we had Dakota Kai, number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship, taking on someone I've never seen or heard of. It was obviously a job match. Her name was Jessie Kamea, I believe. Right off the bat, we got a big boots in the corner to Jessie Kamea from Dakota Kai. Jessie Kamia's looking real green. I think at one point she landed her finishing move, which is just like this really awkward looking like slam to Dakota Kai. We got a near fall out of that. The match didn't go very long. Obviously, it was a job match. Eventually, Dakota Kai did connect her GTK for the win. And then afterwards, she cuts a promo on Shirai saying that she is not afraid of her. Says that she's focused, that Io Shirai is focused on the past while Dakota is focused on the future. I don't really get what she means by that, but okay, that's what she said. She'll be taking the NXT title from her this Saturday. Shirai has heard enough and doesn't waste time. She comes out and immediately takes down Dakota Kai. And then we have a very Sonya Deville looking person, Raquel Gonzalez. She's much taller and bigger, but just the face is very similar in my opinion. Anyway, she comes out to save Dakota Kai after getting attacked by Shirai. After she attacks Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez throws Io Shirai into the ring to Dakota Kai, and Io Shirai just like punches Dakota Kai in the face. So it's not making Dakota Kai look very tough. Gonzalez takes Io Shirai and finishes her off with a chokeslam, and then it's just Dakota Kai kind of just staring down at Io Shirai. It kind of felt like they're promoting Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez rather than with Dakota Kai, because Dakota Kai didn't get a hand in there. But that was that segment. Afterwards, we get another pretty flat segment, just Tegan Nox backstage responding to Candice LeRae's mean comments from last week, which I won't lie, I don't even know what those comments were. In a nutshell, Tegan Nox just said, friendships have up and downs, and Tegan is determined to fix any problems that she and Candice might have. So, sure, okay, that was exciting. Afterwards, we have a Finn Balor vignette hyping up the match for tonight. Says that Velveteen has been given too many chances. He's using the Great American Bash, I think it was, where we had Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream wrestle for the title. Velveteen Dream lost that match. So we just have Finn Balor making a case that, this guy gets too many chances. Like, we don't need to keep seeing this guy get opportunities. And then at the end of that promo, he says it's this Saturday or whatever, later tonight, it's going to be Finn over. And I'm like, you kind of sounds like you're saying you're going to be over. Like, okay, whatever. I guess he was making like a pun on takeover. But anyway, that was a little bit awkward. Next up, we have a 6-man tag match, Legado del Fantasma versus Breezango and Isaiah Swerve Scott. We start off immediately, pretty heavy tornado tag vibes. You know how it goes in these types of matches. They're all just fighting in the ring until finally the two actual legal people start wrestling. I won't lie, actually, I haven't watched Isaiah Scott wrestle that much on account of I don't really watch NXT that often. He's got great offense. He's real quick around the ring. He's attempted a couple really cool dives. One was reversed by Escobar with a kick to the jaw. And then Scott tries covering Escobar for the win after this like really weird move on the ropes where Escobar is hanging onto the ropes and Scott kind of like lifted him from his legs, and then Escobar like flips and lands. That was kind of a weird, like cool but weird move that led to a near fall. Or actually, no, sorry, that wasn't a near fall. He was gonna go for a pin, and he was attempting the pin, but the referee was like, "You're not the legal man. Get out of the ring. You're not supposed to be taking cover." And I was actually kind of confused. I thought he was the legal man. Appears he definitely wasn't. Escobar. It appears that Tyler Breeze was the legal man. At one point, I guess Escobar pushed Swerve Scott into Breezango, and so that counted as a tag. So that's why he was not the legal man. The referee couldn't count the pin. So anyway, Tyler Breeze is now in the ring, and Escobar connects his Phantom Driver finish onto Breeze for the win. And it was after that I realized that, Breeze was the legal man. They showed the replay of Escobar throwing Swerve Scott into the corner. Swerve Scott happened to knock down Breeze. So I guess they counted him knocking him down by accident as a tag, and that made Breeze a legal man, and again, he lost. So after that, we had in my opinion, the best segment on the show. We had Undisputed Era come out to confront Pat McAfee and Pat McAfee's henchmen, whatever they're referred to as. So Adam Cole's just like calling him out, come on out, Pat McAfee, and he's staring at the stage, and of course Pat McAfee, he's not coming out of the stage, he comes out of the back somewhere with his henchmen, And he says that Adam Cole begged him to come talk to him. And he says, well, of course he comes out. He begs me to come talk to him, and he comes out with all of his UE boys. And he says that Adam Cole would be nothing without the rest of these guys, which, I guess the evidence is there that that's pretty much true. And, and then Adam Cole's like, all right. I guess he's playing more of a babyface role, I guess, in this program. So Undisputed Era leaves, and also Pat he tells his henchmen, okay, go away. So it's just the two of them in the ring. And Pat McAfee's laying down some bars in this promo, I'll tell you something. He brings up the incident from 2 weeks ago when he punted Cole. Says he outsmarted Cole, the longest reigning NXT champion, in his own house. He outsmarted Adam Cole in his own house. Says he was a champion for 400 plus days, and it took McAfee 2 minutes just to knock him out. So he's basically just like ripping Cole apart. Pat McAfee says he makes money in seven different professions. Says he can take on full-time wrestling if he wanted to, and that Adam Cole better hope he doesn't, which I guess we'll see this Saturday. We'll see what this guy's really able to do in the ring. One thing I can tell you is that the guy can talk. He says he's going to knock Cole out again this Saturday, and that all he needs is the 2 weeks of training. Because, if you really think about it, this just started 2 weeks ago. I guess the original shoot interview thing happened maybe a bit before that, but the match was planned for the last 2 weeks, so these guys just have 2 weeks to train for this match. And McAfee's taking it in stride. He says all I need is the 2 weeks. He says he might be an outsider, but he's next level. And I just loved this line, because, I don't know, I just love it when somebody could incorporate something really smart into their promo anyway. So he's like, I'm going to kick Cole's head to the moon, and all everyone is going to hear is boom. And I was like, oh man, this guy, he just cut a great promo on this dude, man. And early in the promo, he's talking about like, oh, I could do this wrestling stuff full time if I wanted to. It's like, I'm starting to want him to. I want this guy to be around. Even maybe if he's not the greatest wrestler, even having him as like a mouthpiece for someone or manager or something, he could totally fill those shoes, man. If he's not too busy, I'll always be happy to see this guy come and rip people up like he did Adam Cole just now. Anyway, so after that boom line, Cole gets into McAfee's face. Looks like they're about to start beating each other up, but then security comes in and kind of breaks them apart. Adam Cole ain't having it. He just takes out all the security, and McAfee's henchmen and Undisputed Era get into the ring. And not much happened from there. Cole just got into McAfee's face. He said, listen, buddy, this Saturday, I'm going to make you my bitch. And that's all Adam Cole got out. So for Adam Cole, who's usually, killer on the mic, unfortunately tonight he got defeated as far as I'm concerned. So that was a great segment. Up next we had a tag team match, Aaliyah and Mercedes Martinez versus Rhea Ripley and Shotzi Blackheart. And of course we had Shotzi Blackheart coming out with her weird looking, tank thing. It's kind of silly, but it's fun, I guess. Right off the bat, we got Martinez does this brutal slam to Aaliyah. I think she almost landed right on her head. Aaliyah took some crazy bumps in this match. Later on, Rhea Ripley got her in an electric chair position, did that crazy slam, and she lands right on her face. I was like, damn, this poor girl, man. She's taking bare bumps. Not a whole lot happened in this match, to be honest. It wasn't the most eventful thing, but there were a couple cool key spots. Later, after that electric chair spot, Ripley and Martinez are brawling outside of the ring. Rhea Ripley ends up picking her up in powerbomb position and throws her over the barricade onto the concrete. That couldn't have felt too good. You just see her on the concrete floor. Oh man, I can't imagine what that must feel like, getting bombed onto that. Maybe onto the mat would be okay, but this was right onto the concrete, so that ain't fun. Right after that spot, we see Blackheart gets this weird diving press. I don't even really know what she refers to it as. But anyway, she landed that onto Aaliyah for the win. So it was a quick little match. Like I said, there's a couple of those spots. It was fun seeing Aaliyah get beat up. That one powerbomb spot onto Martinez from Rhea Ripley was pretty dang cool too. afterwards, we got a pretty cool vignette for this Saturday's title match, NXT title match between Karrion Kross and Keith Lee. At the beginning, something did kind of annoy me. Like I don't know, WWE likes to over dramatize things, and so they're showing the vignette. They're showing like Keith Lee when he beat Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. And WWE likes to always use that kind of overly dramatic music. They're using this music where it's like this kid singing, and it's like, oh, I just hated it. But then it turned into like a really cool song where it's like tick, tock. I liked it. I liked the way the song developed, but at first I was really annoyed. But anyway, like I said, the actual content of the vignette we're recapping the NXT Championship win from the Great American Bash. And then they showed the part after he won the title where Karrion Kross and Scarlett were looking on, plotting, for what's to come this Saturday. They show the tension between Dijakovic and Karrion Kross as well. The few interactions they had, the backstage brawl. I think they also had a match where Kross choked out Dijakovic. And then they covered the fire blast from last week during the contract signing, which was weird. He just opens up the contract and a firebolt. Whatever. I don't know what the point of that was, but anyway. That was that vignette. I really do hope that Keith Lee retains at this Saturday's TakeOver 30. There's no doubt in my mind that it is way too soon for him to lose that title. He just won it. He won 2 titles, or he didn't win the 2 titles at Great American Bash, but he was the North American Championship, and then they made him a double champion. So you can't just make him 1 month the biggest deal in your promotion, and then just take the title and he's literally nothing, because he vacated the North American Championship, which I disagreed with. Like, his reasoning was, oh, we need to give the other wrestlers a chance. It's like, well, if you want to give them a chance, then give them a chance. Offer them a match for your title. Don't just give it up. So they made him look kind of like a bitch, just dropping the title like that. I don't think that was particularly impressive. So you can't make him lose the title. Like, you just look like nothing. What do you do after that? Even for Karrion Kross, I can't think of that intriguing a program for them to get him into right after that. I don't think... if Keith Lee loses, he just looks bad in every way. I don't even think it would be appropriate to give him a rematch. He just wouldn't look good anymore. So, Keith Lee needs to win. Whether they continue the program, they maybe do a rematch at the next TakeOver or whatever, that's fine, but it's not time for Keith Lee to lose that title. We'll see what happens. All I could, almost guarantee is that it's going to be a great match. I'm very excited to see how that goes. And afterwards, we're already to the main event. We had Finn Balor versus Velveteen Dream for the contendership for Saturday's North American Championship match. And into the match, we kind of have a more limb-targeting vibe going on. Balor's going after Velveteen Dream's left leg. So lots of submissions for that. It's just Balor going after Velveteen Dream's leg. Eventually, Velveteen Dream comes back. He gets some cool kick spots in, onto Balor. At one point in the match, Velveteen Dream went out of the ring to, look. Remember I mentioned earlier that they had the 2 ladders set up and they had the North American Championship hanging between. So at one point of the match, Velveteen Dream goes out of the ring to kind of just, look at the North American Championship, I'm going to win that this weekend. And then Cameron Grimes comes out, and then it just goes to commercial break. And after the break, Grimes is on top of one of those ladders with the North American Championship in hand. Just watching the match, I guess. He just thought, hey, why don't I just come out and hang out? And, yeah, that's fine, I guess. And so we have Balor continuing to target the left leg on Velveteen Dream. At one point he just gets annoyed by Grimes' crap, and Balor's just climbing up the ladder, threatening to beat up Cameron Grimes. Nothing really even ended up happening there. Velveteen Dream later on connected a really cool looking superplex onto Finn Balor, and then Johnny Gargano comes out, and he sees that Grimes is on top of the ladder, so he decides, fuck it, I'm just gonna push this dude into the ring. So he pushes down the ladder, and Cameron Grimes falls right into the ring. and he notices like, oh crap, I'm in the middle of the ring now. On one corner of the ring is Finn Balor, the other corner of the ring it's Velveteen Dream. So they just start beating the crap out of Cameron Grimes. That was funny. And then of course, there's so many people involved in the match on Saturday. They had to get them all involved in this match. So after the Grimes beating up Grimes, Bronson Reed comes out. Damian Priest comes out and they beat up Johnny Gargano. And then Damian Priest super kicks Reed. Balor knocks Dream out of the ring and dives onto Damian Priest and Bronson Reed. And then afterwards, Timothy Thatcher came out. Oh, and sorry, I actually forgot to mention as well when Johnny Gargano knocked Grimes into the ring off the ladder. Grimes had knocked the referee out of the ring, so the ref was knocked out. So they did a ref knockout spot. So that's why all this stuff was flying. There's no disqualification or whatever. Like I said, Timothy Thatcher ended up coming out and was beating up Finn Balor. So you kind of knew right off the bat, okay, Timothy Thatcher, he's not in the ladder match this Saturday. He doesn't have a match. So they're setting up a match between Finn Balor and Timothy Thatcher. So right at this part of the match, you know who wins the match. So anyway, Timothy Thatcher's beating up Finn Balor, throws him in the ring. Velveteen Dream lands his signature elbow drop for the win. So this Saturday, we are going to be getting Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes, Johnny Gargano, and Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship. I'm sure it'll be a great match. Obviously Johnny Gargano's experience in these types of situations. Bronson Reed is always entertaining to watch. So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. After the match, Johnny Gargano, he's not having any of it. Forget about letting this guy celebrate. He just goes in and attacks Dream. And then they just do the whole thing where everybody's killing everybody. So Cameron Grimes gets in and knocks out Gargano. Priest chokeslams Grimes, and then Dream takes out Grimes, and then Reed takes out Dream. And they actually had Bronson Reed as the last man standing in the ring, and that's the last guy we got to see until the show went off the air. So that was tonight's NXT. Pretty good show. Some of the filler matches were a little uneventful. Like the 6-man tag match was fine. The women's tag match was fine. I liked the big spots in that match, I won't lie. This weekend, I'm definitely looking forward to the pay-per-view. We will be covering AEW this Saturday, so I'm not going to be skipping out on covering AEW. We will be getting to that. Let's see what we have coming up for this week's AEW Dynamite. We'll go ahead and hype up the show a little bit here. So that will be for this Saturday, August 22nd. So let's take a look and see what might be happening here. One thing I do got to say definitely about AEW is that, in my opinion, I don't think they drove the point enough that they're moving on Saturday, man. Clearly NXT is going to have a viewership increase, you know what I mean? Normally they'll average between 640 to just barely getting to 800,000. This week NXT I'm almost certain is going to get that 800,000. So we'll see how AEW ends up doing this Saturday. I wish they spent more time promoting it. They didn't do that a whole lot. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be a good show anyway. I just hope they don't die in the ratings. But anyway, so I just pulled up the card. We have FTR versus Private Party. We got the Elite versus Dark Order. Darby Allin will be in action. Cody versus Brody Lee for the AEW TNT title. AEW Deadly Draw Tournament Finals. So that's for the Women's Cup, I believe is what they're referring to it as. Women's Tag Team Cup, I should say. So, that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it. I really hope that Brandy Rhodes doesn't win. If she ends up winning, you know what I mean? And then she and Allie just come out every week, talking about how they won this cup. She's going to start getting go-away heat for me. And I don't think AEW needs that. They don't need that at all. WWE, we have Baron Corbin. He's the go-away heat guy. But WWE could do that as many times as they want. They'll never lose viewers or anything. If AEW starts generating that, and Brandy is teetering on the edge of, if she just ends up going over in this tournament, she's likely going to end up getting that go-away heat for me. I'm not going to want to watch her segments anymore. And AEW hasn't really done that. So I might be maybe a little overreacting, but yeah, I'm not too keen on seeing her win that. Anyway, that's not even all the matches. We also have Lucha Bros and Butcher and Blade versus Jurassic Express and the Natural Nightmares. So it looks like a pretty big show, honestly. Like, even though they changed their time slot, I don't see why they should do so bad. It looks like it's going to be a pretty packed show here. And of course, they have their pay-per-view coming up on September 5th as well. We will go ahead this Saturday. We'll talk a little bit about NXT TakeOver during the AEW stream, just because there are matches that I'm really looking forward to. I can't just, not cover those. They're pretty big matches, the NXT title match, the North American Championship match. So once again, I want to thank you for listening to the Pierce the Canvas podcast. I'm still getting used to saying that. We're still in the beginning phases here. Tune in this Saturday. See, this is what AEW should be doing. They shouldn't just be making you figure out when to catch your programming. Make sure to tune in this Saturday on Pierce the Canvas. We will be covering AEW. Again, we'll cover a little bit of NXT as well. As always, everybody, stay safe, be healthy, enjoy the rest of your evening.